Okay, so tell me, what do you think defines masculinity?
I think the stereotype of masculinity would probably be a strong man who is willing to put the needs of others before himself, probably be a good leader.
I think masculinity is typically seen as the American jock kind of stereotype, with tend to be quite butch, muscly, hairy, smelly, that kind of like persona. The masculine character tends to be like the dad, like looking after people, not necessarily caring, but more like a protector kind of character.
Would you say that you fit that description?
Probably
Would you? No.
Probably not, no. I like to think I'm a good leader, but I'm not the most muscular people. I don't know, probably getting stuck into different stuff and that.
Okay, so what would you say? Are you masculine, are you feminine, or would you think you're something in between?
I'm saying more masculine than I am feminine, but
What do you think defines femininity?
I think femininity should be like caring individuals, that people that care for others. I don't know, I've never really given it much thought.
Well, kind of, they act, it's basically the mothering character, like looking very girly, pink, wearing a lot of pink, blonde, blue eyes, looking after children, the caring one, the man protects and the girl like looks after, always seen it quite like that, girly, like, you know, like Baby Spice, that kind of character.
And what do you look for in a woman?
Someone who can make me laugh, someone who's gonna care for me and help me out when times aren't easy, and someone I can talk to.
And would you say that you kind of fit this kind of feminine stereotype?
I didn't. Well, I don't like pink, but that's not because I'm trying to be anti-feminine. I wouldn't say, I don't know, I wouldn't like to say I'm more masculine. I wouldn't say I'm like macho in that way, but I guess the way that I dress and that I'm friends with quite a lot of guys, and I'm not kind of like the girly kind of character who like screams at a spider or anything. I guess I would fit more of like guy stereotype, but I don't know, I think I am somewhere in between, like more modern kind of woman.
What do you look for in a guy?
I actually tend to go for people who are quite hairy. And
hairy?
Like, not macho, I don't like muscles actually, so I don't like big muscly men who like have six packs and everything. But I like a bigger man. I wouldn't be able to go out with someone who's small.
Okay.
I think that's probably part of like the masculine thing. You always tend to go for that character.
Cream, tell me a little bit about you. Tell me where you live and where you were born, and a bit about your background and your heritage.
Okay, I live in Hounslow, in London, West London, near Heathrow Airport. It's not the nicest of areas.
And where about you? Like, where were you born? And like, tell me a bit about your heritage.
I'm originally half Lebanese, half Egyptian. My mother is Lebanese and my dad is Egyptian. I was born in Dubai, and I lived there for the first like 2 years of my life, and then moved to London when I was about 2, and then started school in London when I was 3, as you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm also like, my family, I come from a Muslim family who are really traditional. They're quite old school. They have a lot of old school Arab values. They have a lot of old school like Arabic traditions. Like, my house is really, really cultured. Like, it's really heavily cultured by the Middle East. I love my culture and I love where I'm from. There's a lot of conflict in who I am as a person and my culture, but I think there's certain aspects that I take from it that I think are so beautiful.
Yeah.
And certain aspects that I don't agree with. I mean, I study fashion, so I have a massive love for it, as you know.
Yeah.
Like, I love fashion, so I love to experiment with what I wear, as you also know. If you can back up like who you are as a person, then no one's gonna get involved in your business. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like you said, like the way that you experiment with your fashion and stuff. Like, has anyone ever said like, oh, is that a bit girly? Like, do you think your fashion sense is girly?
Yeah, I would say my dress sense is quite feminine.
And you're okay with that because, like,
Well, yeah, I have to be because like, I personally think, like, clothes are clothes, and you can't really. All right, you have like the staple items that you can associate with a gender, but I don't think that, like, apart from like dresses and skirts, I don't think you can put like a gender to an item.
But even then, like, you know, like Kanye West, like he wore that kind of like top dress thing at one of his concerts and stuff. And what would we say that Kanye West is like gay for that? Like everyone knows he's like strictly straight. So
no, I think that is prime example of experimentation with fashion. So my dad is the breadwinner, and my mum stays at home and she cooks and cleans and blah blah blah. But that isn't, like, although I'm a really, really, really open-minded person, like, that's what I've been raised to see, sort of.
yeah.
And so, like, growing up, that's what I believe the roles of male and female were. But then as I started going into secondary school and stuff, that's when I saw things differently and noticed, like, everyone has equal opportunity. And I'm not saying in my household that, like, personally my mum, like, it's all a choice. Like, my mum chose to be a housewife and my dad chose to work. It was like a huge, like, thing in my house because I decided that I wanted to study fashion and they didn't see it as a real profession. And I had to tell my parents that I was doing interior design for them to let me even study like a BTEC at college. So, and then when I got accepted to university, I told them everything. And they still weren't, like, my mum's still not overjoyed about it. Neither is my dad. They don't particularly think I'm going to be too successful from it because they don't see it as anything serious.
I don't know if you guys know, like, I grew up with Kareem. Like, we went to nursery together. We've been in every single class with each other up until GCSEs. So we've like known each other our whole lives. And I know, like, for Kareem, since like Kareem was like doing my hair in like year 9, he was like already telling me how to dress my uniform differently, and then started designing things. So he's been like very like fashion orientated from like the word go.
It was like a long process to even get to where I am now because, as you know, at the time I was overweight and had like a lot of self-confidence issues anyway, as it was. And like, because my parents weren't very accepting or will never ever be accepting of the idea of homosexuality, and because of our religion, they will never accept it. So at home, I have to be a completely different person to who I am when I leave the door.
Yeah.
So that, again, like, constantly lying to my family because I'm really close to them, really, like, I find a huge struggle every single day. Like, and it's something that plays up all the time, like, always comes up in conversation. There's always, like, my parents aren't stupid and they know me very well, so
Yeah.
when it comes down to like stuff like this, they're gonna question me. They're gonna want to know things. They're gonna want to know why I haven't had a girlfriend yet, why I haven't, where I am when I go out, all this sort of stuff. So it does play a huge like role in my life, and every day is difficult because I have to sort of like watch my back constantly to make sure that I haven't made any slip-ups, to ensure that my Facebook is clear of anything, to ensure that they haven't seen a message or overheard one of my conversations with someone, or haven't seen me out with someone, or like haven't looked in my bag and found my bag makeup and my jewelry and all of that sort of stuff, because they're never going to understand it, not because they're bad people, and it's because they weren't born in this country. They're from a completely different area where homosexuality is just not acceptable. And how they view gay people is disgusting because they think we're a joke. Like, they laugh at gay people, like genuinely laugh at gay people. They think like being gay is an illness. They think that there is something really wrong with you for being gay. They will pick on it. Like, things have come up at home as well to do with my brothers because they're my age and they're not stupid. Like, and I'm really close to my brothers, like, and you know this.
Yeah.
So they will always say to me, like, regardless, they'll always tell me how much they love me. But if they have a suspicion, they do tell me, like, if this is the case, we will never accept it. Sometimes, because I have nobody on my side in my house, and I'm constantly being told that I'm doing something wrong, it is really, really difficult for me to sort of try and comprehend what I'm doing. And I do need that, like, support from somebody in my house to tell me, Kareem, you're not doing anything wrong, you are normal. I think this is what is wrong with people these days, is that they're really, really quick to put a meaning to masculine or a meaning to feminine.
Yeah.
And I personally don't think you can describe masculine or feminine, because, okay, you have got the, like, Oxford Dictionary explanation of it, but my personal view on masculinity or my view on femininity is, like, a woman to be feminine is to have, like, you know, like, curves, whatever, like, women do, like, long hair, long eyelashes. I don't particularly think you need to have long hair, long eyelashes, like, fierce eyebrows. I don't think you need to have that sort of thing to be called feminine. I think you're a woman, so you are feminine.
So we just spoke with Kareem just now. I just said that he's like he's basically like my best friend. He's my closest friend from back home, and I thought it'd be a really great idea to interview him so that you could see what it's like from the area that we're from, in terms of what it's like to be masculine and feminine in our community, and also with the fact that we live in a very, like, largely Asian dominated area, where, like, people don't necessarily understand that, you know, but they don't really accept that being gay is acceptable, or that the clothes that we wear is actually just, like, fashionable. Because if we were to take a 45-minute tube ride into London and wore what we were wearing in Hounslow, it'd be more than acceptable, and we see more than enough outrageous stuff in central London. But it's just because our community where we're from, like, people don't really, like, leave that area, and they just know that area. It's kind of like you live in a bit of, like, a goldfish bowl. So it's really interesting to speak to him about the struggles that he faces, not only just being gay, but also being Muslim as well, and having to conflict his religion and his cultures and his beliefs and everything he was brought up on, and having to accept that the person he isn't necessarily accepted from, like, his community, his family, his religion, his culture. And yeah, it was nice to talk to him.
Okay, so we hope that you've learned a lot from our documentary. We've certainly enjoyed meeting a lot of people and discussing their situation.